welcome back to my channel. So for today's video, I am going to be doing a hair tutorial and clip-in extension review for you guys today. I'm going to be reviewing the Amazing Beauty Hair 220 gram platinum blonde extensions. The color doesn't really matter because you can get them in multiple colors. But yeah, so if you want to see a little review and tutorial on how I achieved this look and what I think about these extensions, then just keep watching because we're gonna get started. So like I mentioned a few seconds ago, I'm gonna be reviewing the Amazing Beauty Hair clip-in extensions. These are the 220 gram extensions and they are in the shade Platinum Blonde, which is the number 60 shade. The length of the ones that I'm currently wearing are 22 inches, and I will say that I did end up cutting a little bit of the length off because just for me personally and my body type, I'm 5'7", I felt that 22 inches was just a little bit too long, but that's nothing a quick little trim cannot fix. So don't let that discourage you if you are shorter than me or my height, whatever. That was just preference, and maybe you'll love the 22 inch, who knows, do you. These came in the shade Platinum number 60, and like basically any other extensions I've ever purchased or worn or whatever, I have had to tone them. I find that a lot of platinum or blonde extensions typically come very yellow, and my hair is always toned a little bit more vanilla. So I toned these with a purple shampoo. It's super easy. All you have to do is wash them in your sink with a little bit of purple shampoo, lather it together, rinse it out, let them air dry, and you're good to go. This is 100% Remy hair, all clip-in extensions, and my thoughts about these were that these are by far the thickest hair extensions I have ever worn, which is really good if you're like me and you have really thick hair and your hair is short. You always have to make sure that your extensions are easy to blend in and thick enough for your hair type, length, texture, whatever it is. For me, these are definitely the thickest extensions. Even my husband noticed that they looked a lot fuller than other extensions that I've worn in the past. So definitely love the thickness of them. They are a little bit heavy, so you do have to make sure that if your hair is slippery or I don't know, fine, you're going to want to make sure you tease where you're going to place the clips because they can slip easily. That is pretty true with most extension sets anyway, but I feel like because of the weight especially, you are going to make sure that you will have a little bit of a good grip going on in there, and I am going to show you how I do that in the tutorial coming up next. But all in all, I feel like these extensions are really well worth the money. They feel super nice. I love the thickness of them. I love how they hold a curl. To me, these are a really great set of extensions. Okay, so how I typically get started by applying my extensions is I take a bunch of my hair and put it up. I'm actually going to turn around so I can show you about how much I take at the bottom. So typically go down by the nape of my neck, and I'm going to leave a little bit of hair out, maybe about that much, actually probably a little bit more. That doesn't feel like quite enough. So somewhere along these lines. And you can take a clip or a ponytail or a hair scrunchie, whatever you want. I'm just gonna use the scrunchie. I know this is like the cutest thing you've ever seen, but your hair is gonna look like this. So what I do is I take a rat tail comb and I like to tease just at the base, really close to the nape of my neck. Tease it pretty good, because what you're going to do in order to hide the extensions is you're going to take a piece of the extensions, the first ones you want to use. So for reference, I'm just taking this 3-clip weft. This one's a pretty small size. These are already curled a little bit, but I am gonna show you guys how I style them, what I use, all that. But first you're gonna take it, you're gonna lift up this piece of hair back here and clip it directly under. Teasing it is going to help give it some type of a grip. That is how it's going to lay. So you can see how now all these short pieces are laying right on top of the long piece instead of under. I know a lot of times when we have short hair and you want to wear clip-in extensions, typically the extension or your natural hair shows under here and it's super obvious. So this is a little tip that I've been doing for a while, and I feel like it works so well. It hides those little pieces and no one ever knows. Okay, so in order to curl the hair, I usually curl by each layer. It makes everything, I think, a little bit faster and a little bit cleaner. So what I do for the hair is I take my Lange 1-inch curling wand. The reason I like this one is because I love the way the curls turn out with this, but the material is actually made to work with thick and normal hair types, and these extensions, if I haven't mentioned already, are extremely thick and perfect for this type of curling iron, and I've just really loved the results of this. So I zoomed you guys out just a little bit, but I want to show you how I curl. So each section I typically break in half, and I start by curling it all the way around, but I leave like about an inch or two out towards the ends because I like the ends to be straight. That's just the typical way I like to curl my hair. But if you don't like that, then you can use it all the way down to the ends. Now that that's done and taken care of, we're going to move on to the next section. So I'm going to bring my hair down and I will show you how much hair I leave out at the bottom as well for this. Okay, for this next layer, I'm going to take just a tiny bit more hair than we had used before. Not a whole lot more, but enough for it to make enough of a difference. And again, just pin it up, clip it up, or put it in a ponytail, whatever. Just get it out of the way as much as possible. And for this next step, you're going to want to make sure that you have some bobby pins handy, because what you're going to do now is take this section of hair and actually twist it into a very flat bun against your head. So it's going to look something like that, if you can see. And now is the time to take some bobby pins and just pin it really tightly into the base of your head. Okay, so now that that is all pinned down flat as much as you can get it, you're gonna add the next piece of extensions. So again, I'm gonna take a 3-clipped weft that's smaller of the 3-clip wefts, and I'm gonna show you exactly how I pin it in. So I'm gonna take that and you can either pin it right into the bun, this middle clip here of the 3, or you can pin it right over top. It's totally your preference. I typically do a little bit of both, just depending on the day. And you're just gonna clip it right into all that hair there. So now you can kind of see how that's looking in this area. I don't really feel the need for these to be curled at the moment, but if you are going to be curling and using a 1-inch wand like that, I always am curling away from my face every single curl. Nothing is going towards, everything's going away, and I'm leaving 1 to 2 inches of the hair ends out. All right, moving on to the next layer. This one's gonna be just a little bit different than the first two. So you are going to take your hair down, and at this point, I actually start to part above, just slightly above my ear, not anything super crazy. And again, just pin up everything, get all that extra hair at the top out of your way because it's not important at this moment. All right, so before I start anything, I find it easier to curl the hair that is going to be sitting underneath my extensions first, and then going in and adding my clip-ins. So I'm going to go in with my Lange 1-inch hair wand, and I'm going to curl every single curl away from my face, just like my extensions, as well as leave about an inch of hair out towards the end. Okay, so now that we have our natural hair completely curled all the way around, I'm going to take a rat tail comb again and make sure to just tease the areas where I'm going to place the new extensions. So right now what we're left with extension wise, besides anything that's over 2 clips, is going to be this large 4-clipped weft, and then there's also this 3-clipped weft. So I'm going to take the 3-clipped weft next, and then after that we'll do the biggest weft and then work our way down again. So again, this does not need to be recurled. I really try not to add extra heat to hair that doesn't need it. There may be like a piece here and there that may need to be recurled after wearing them a few times. But other than that, just be careful not to apply too much heat to your extensions, because it's going to act like normal hair and eventually you're going to damage it, and this doesn't grow back. So you want to make sure you take as good of care as possible of your extensions. So I find that not applying heat every time is going to help the longevity of how they're going to last. So this I'm going to clip right into the back of my head. pull it forward, and I'm gonna show you guys sort of how it's looking so far. All right, so this is what we're working with currently. Love the length of these. Looking good. Okay, moving on to the next layer, I'm gonna take another section of hair down, this time closer to my temples, about there and all the way around. Maybe just like actually slightly lower than that I would do. Okay, at this point, we're gonna do the same thing again. We are going to curl our natural hair first and then apply the extensions, but this layer of extensions is going to be quite different than the previous layers. So let me get this curled and then we will move on to the actual extensions. So once that is all curled and teased just a tiny bit, now I'm going to take the largest weft of this set, which has 4 clips, and I'm first going to add that to the back of my head, as center as possible as you can get it. And then what's different about this step now is that this set of extensions comes with these 4 1-clipped wefts. So I'm actually going to take, I had these in order on which side they belong to because they're already curled, and now I think I messed up. Okay, so first what I'm going to do is take one of the wefts, clip it there, and another here. So basically this layer of your hair is going to be completely extensions. This is like basically the middle of my head, and I feel like that is where I have the most amount of hair. So I want to have that as full as possible to help blend all these like front short pieces. Now these ones I do find myself having to recurl more than the other pieces. I'm not sure why, but sometimes I do feel like I have to recurl those just a little bit more than the other pieces. So I think for right now they're actually fine, so I'm gonna move on to the next layer. So at this point I take all of my hair down and I decide where I'm going to part my hair. I usually part my hair somewhere in the middle, but you are free to part your hair however you please. It just might affect placement of the next 2 extensions. So this is where things get just a tiny bit different than what we've been doing before. Is I'm usually focused on one side or the other. So instead of clipping all of my hair up at once, I'll kind of clip up one side with the rest of the other side to style it. So I'll show you exactly what I mean. But right now I'm going to take about this much hair and leave it out. The rest of everything I'm going to kind of move off to the side. I know it's adorable. I know. So now I'm going to take my Lange curling wand and I'm going to do the same thing, curl the hairs. And one thing that I don't think I've mentioned yet in this video, but I think it's super important, especially with this wand, is not to hold the hair very long. The hair curls pretty quickly with this wand, so you don't have to hold it for like 30 seconds. Honestly, a few seconds and I find it to be curled. I'm gonna show you in real time like how fast a section of my hair curls. Everybody's hair might be a little bit different, but I wanted to give you guys a good idea. Nothing longer than that. That's all you need. Okay, so now that that's curled and teased a little bit, I'm going to take the 2-clip weft right here. There are 2 of them in this pack. So I'm gonna take the first one, and typically where I start it is about right here, kind of the center of the side of my head. I don't like it to be too close to my face. To me, that's too bulky and it looks a little bit less natural. So I'm gonna move it back an inch or so, and now it's placed right there. So you can do the same thing with the other side, and then I'm gonna move on and show you how I blend in and curl the top. So for time's sake, I have already done this side to show you what it's going to look like at the end of the video. So I'm gonna show you how I achieve this on this side. So this is a personal preference. You do not have to do it this way at all. You can use the regular curling iron for this, but there's something about the length of my bangs currently that I don't like the way my bangs curl with my curling wand. I know it doesn't make sense, but for some reason I really enjoy this little trick. So if you have no issue, if your bangs are longer, whatever, and you want to use the curling wand, be my guest, do it as normal as how we have been curling. But for me, I usually take about this big of a section, and I'm gonna take my flat iron. The flat iron that I use is the Beyond the Beauty flat iron. I don't know if it has a name, but I've loved it. I've been using it for about 3 years now, and I love that it has temperature control, so no matter what texture or type that you have for your hair, it should work for you. It goes up pretty high, like somewhere past 400. I'm not even sure. I haven't gone that high, but yeah, it goes pretty high. So I'm gonna take it about right here, and I'm going to curl the hair away from my face, and just like that, drop it. So that's a little bit too curled for me, but I wanna let it cool off for just 1 second. And eventually I am going to just run the straightener through it a little bit to soften it, sort of how like that side is. Okay, so now that it's had some time to cool off, I'm just gonna take it very quickly, run it through and soften it just like that. Now with the rest of the hair, you're just going to take small sections, just like the same size as the bang. And I think I typically start somewhere between halfway down the strand of hair. So I'm gonna take that, curl it maybe once, maybe twice if it's long enough. But the trick is not to hold it too long. You want them to be soft little waves going through your hair. So now that that top layer is all done, I'm just gonna take a little bit of hairspray. This is the Rusk Weightless Hairspray. It is a stronghold. In my opinion, I don't think it's a stronghold, so I think it's perfect for this little hairstyle. So I just spray a little bit, or a lot, I guess, throughout my natural hair. I don't find the need to have to put tons of product or hairspray in these. I think they curl and they stay very well, so I don't really find myself having to do that, but around like the front pieces and everything of my own hair, I'll add a little bit. And I know it feels like I just put a ton in, but I'm telling you, this literally, it says it's weightless, it's weightless. All right guys, so that's it for today's little hair tutorial and review. I hope you enjoyed. If you like seeing videos like this, or just in general, if you liked this video, make sure to give it a big thumbs up. And of course, if you are not already subscribed, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the little bell icon, so that every time I upload a video, you are first to know. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time.